The Anglo-Zanzibar War holds the record as the shortest war in history, lasting only 38 minutes on August 27, 1896. The conflict was between the British Empire and the Sultanate of Zanzibar, a small island nation off the coast of East Africa. The war erupted after the sudden death of Sultan Hamad bin Thuwaini, who had been a British ally. His successor, Sultan Khalid bin Barghash, took the throne without British approval, leading to an immediate military response. The British had significant political and economic interests in Zanzibar, especially in controlling trade and stopping the slave trade. They wanted a sultan who would cooperate with them, but Khalid defied British demands to step down. In response, the British issued an ultimatum on August 26, 1896, demanding that Khalid surrender by 9 a.m. the next day. When he refused, the British swiftly prepared for military action. At exactly 9:02 a.m. on August 27, British warships in the harbor opened fire on the Sultan's palace. The bombardment caused massive destruction, setting the palace on fire and crippling the Zanzibari forces. The Sultan's small army of about 3,000 men, mostly palace guards and civilians, was vastly outmatched by the British naval fleet. Within minutes, the Sultan's artillery and defenses were destroyed. By 9:40 a.m., just 38 minutes after the first shot, the war was over. The Sultan had fled to the German consulate, seeking asylum. Over 500 Zanzibari soldiers and civilians were killed or wounded, while the British suffered only one minor injury. With Khalid in hiding, the British installed a new, pro-British Sultan, Hamad bin Muhammad, effectively bringing Zanzibar under British control. Despite its short duration, the war had long-term consequences. It marked the end of Zanzibar's independence, turning it into a British protectorate until it gained independence in 1963. It also demonstrated the overwhelming power of European colonial forces at the time, reinforcing British dominance in East Africa. Today, the Anglo-Zanzibar War remains a historical curiosity, often cited as an example of how overwhelming military superiority can lead to a swift and decisive victory. Though brief, it highlights the intense geopolitical struggles of the colonial era and the extent to which major powers controlled the fate of smaller nations. Today, the Anglo-Zanzibar War remains a historical curiosity, often cited as an example of how overwhelming military superiority can lead to a swift and decisive victory. Though brief, it highlights the intense geopolitical struggles of the colonial era and the extent to which major powers controlled the fate of smaller nations. At exactly 9:02 a.m. on August 27, British warships in the harbor opened fire on the Sultan's palace.